Now, answering your questions about the law and legal issues. This is Legal Break with attorney Gary Bruce.
And I'm Maureen Akers. Welcome, Gary.
Good to be here.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, today's question, Gary, we'll get right to it. Gary, the Georgia legislature is in session. Do you know of any laws being proposed that might impact the courts or the legal process?
Well, it's a timely question, so thanks for bringing it up. And we're always on the alert for this. And, you know, our bar associations in Alabama and Georgia send us updates constantly. And we hear it from other places, you know, as lawyers. But specifically in Georgia, there were some things that were kind of hinted at in the fall and summer, but really haven't come to pass. So I don't, you know, there's no point in talking about that. Apparently, people came to the understanding that things are more complicated than simple answers. You know, there's always these, this'll fix everything kind of thing, and it just doesn't. There's ripple effects that have to be considered. So I'm thankful that we're not just jumping into reform, which is obviously not reform, but but there is one issue I think that they're looking at, which is the ADA, or not ADA, the DA oversight.
Okay.
Which there was a committee that was set up to be able to discipline and rein in rogue DAs, and so it was shelved. And the argument is that it was set up because of the Trump prosecution. It was not. I mean, I think it happened because of things that were going on, like in Columbus when we had some issues with the DA. There were several of those. But the question then remains, do you really need that? There's other ways to deal with these things. They all seem to have worked themselves out. So, you know, another law on the books does not always fix the problems. You know. And I guess another thing on the books that's been proposed, and I love this, it's a law to protect the Second Amendment. As if the Second Amendment needs a Georgia law to protect it. It's insanity. But it talks about frivolous lawsuits against gun manufacturers. And it's just, there's already federal legislation on these things. So, you know, whenever you hear the word frivolous, run, or reform, run, because it's usually just a stab at taking away rights, you know.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Anything else of interest that is going on up there? They're doing in
well, one I thought was interesting is cockfighting is not per se illegal in Georgia. You can't abuse animals, so it falls under a category. But there is a law being proposed to outlaw rooster fighting in Georgia. It's 2024, right? Anyway.
Thank you, Gary. We'll see you on the next Legal Break.